Welcome to your chordal guitar lesson of the week. Today we will study some cluster chords like this. But first of all, I'm going to explain what is a cluster. In essence, a cluster is to play many notes in a row from a scale and make them ring at the same time inside of a chord, so it becomes very difficult to pick up individual notes in the chord because they are so close together that it's very hard to distinguish each and every note. The usual way to build a chord is to stack thirds, right? So we have the root, the third, the fifth. So all of these notes are just enough apart so we can pick up each individual note and they have their own space to ring. But with a cluster, it's the opposite. It's very, very dense. So you can picture in your head a keyboard player just going all 5 fingers down on the white keys. This is pretty much what a cluster is. But our problem on guitar is that it's not as easy as on keyboards or piano because we have the restriction of how our instrument is made. All the intervals are placed on each of our strings. So if we want to play only fretted notes and have clusters, this would make impossible stretches like this. So the only workaround is to incorporate open strings and fretted notes together and having our close notes like this. This is something that I showed you on my lesson about dark ambient chords if you're interested. So first of all, we are going to study the chords from one of my songs called Time to Leave Behind, which is from my new album Sanctuary. Let's get the hype up for my new album coming very soon. So I'm going to let you hear a little snippet of the song and then I'm going to teach you the cluster chords. So let's look at the 3 chords we have heard. I am talking about the ambient guitar part and not the acoustic guitar. So the first chord is like this. The second chord is like this. And the third one is very, very difficult because it is a big stretch. So what I'm doing is that I raise my fretboard up to have a bigger angle with my left hand so I can reach all the notes of the chord like this. It's a beautiful chord, but it's a very big stretch. So don't injure yourself if you want to practice it, and make sure that you raise your fretboard and that you have a big pronation of your hand like this. So now let's analyze these chords. First of all, the key of the song is in a Dorian mode. It means that it's a minor scale with a raised 6th degree. It sounds like this. So the focus is on this note right here. I call the Dorian mode the bright side of minor because this raised 6th in the scale really adds some light into it and some mystery to this mode. Compared to a regular minor, the flat 6th is more somber, but the raised 6th is more mysterious. So I'm going to emphasize on some chords this raised 6th into my clusters. But let's analyze the first chord, which is this one. On all my cluster chords, I am playing the 5th string and the 1st strings open at all times. So these strings are pretty much my drones for my chords. They are static, and the only thing that's changing is the middle of the chord. So if we analyze each note in the chord, we have this note, which is the flat third. It's an important note because I want to emphasize that I am in a minor mode, right? So if we don't have the minor third, we don't know if the chord is major or minor. Then I have the fourth, which combined with the first string open makes a 3, 4, 5. And then this note is the flat 7. So we have 3 notes in a row. And the rest, and we have the 1 in flat 7, which are pretty much close together. So this is considered as a cluster. It's hard to tell what is the limit of a cluster. How many notes do you need in a row before you can call it a cluster? But we don't care about labels, right? We just care about the result and the music, right? So on the 2 other chords that I'm going to show you, I really emphasize the natural 6th note inside of our chord. So I really emphasize the Dorian mode and the Dorian flavor to my chord. So the second chord is like this. So if we look at all the notes, this one from my pinky is the 4th. This one is the natural 6th. And this one is the flat 7th. And if I count my open string on the 1st as the 5th, we have 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 notes in a row. And if we count the first one too, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So it could be considered 5 notes in a row, which is really exciting, right? This is really the essence of what a cluster is. And when I play it backwards like this, it's just so beautiful. And I use the same concept for my third chord. So let's put my guitar on my left leg and raise my fretboard like this. So when I play my chord here, this is the same principle. So now this on my pinky is the natural 6th. This is the flat 7 on my middle finger. And this is my root. So once again, if I count my open first string, we have 5, 6, 7, 1. So it's once again 4 notes in a row like this. This is pretty much the extreme. You could not go more than that. This is an extreme chord, but it was so beautiful I had to incorporate it in my song. And I made my arrangement so I have time to change my guitar and really place my fingers before I play this one. So there you have it, the 3 cluster chords. So what you can do if you want to create cluster chords is to find ways to play many notes in a row to create some clashes. So some notes that are really, really close together. That was weird. Notes that are really close together that you can let ring in your chord. And these are just my favorite chords because it's so out of the box and it's so cool and it's not the usual way that you build chords. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Just before you leave, go sign up for my free mini course in the description box. This is a 4 video series completely for free on my website, Ambient Guitar Academy. It's a 35-minute big module about ambient guitar chords and harmonization. I have a new website since last month and students are loving the website, so you should pick up your spot on my free mini course by clicking on the first link in the description box. Alright, so thank you very much for watching my lesson and until next time, au revoir.